happy with the response, I suppose, to a tough week for that first quarter was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really good. Really efficient ball use and ability to win the ball was good, and then to score from it against a side that have introduced a lot of young players, but they're quality young players. So they're able to, think of Fisher and Gwilt. They've been around for a long time and have been very good defenders for a long time. So we always thought that going into the game it was going to be tough to score. So to get away to a start like that was really pleasing.
What was the main message before the game? Obviously about boxing during the week. So what was your main message?
Yeah. Well, firstly, I mean, the boxing stuff, I mean, it's just, we do that on a regular basis. So, I mean, the main message for us was to focus on what we think's important and what we value. And you look at a lot of the numbers and measures that you look at statistically. We've been, a pretty reasonable football side, and it's a galling statistic that I think only one side's been in front for longer than we have all year, but we sit 13th on the ladder. So that would in itself suggest that we're doing a lot of things really well. But I mean, we clearly identified the things that we needed to work on, and that was the message that was hammered home all week and trained really strongly throughout the week, and the guys were able to back it up. So I don't want to go into too much detail about what exactly it was.
You've got to give us some.
Yeah, I mean, it should be easy to work out. I mean, if you look, you only have to look at the last 10 minutes of last week. I mean, unfortunately, people forget about the previous 110 where we've done a lot right, but our ability to play 4 quarters, to play our style of footy, for 100% of the game, or to attempt to, because against any side you don't get it all your own way, and although sometimes it may seem that way when you're on top, we've still got a hell of a long way to go until we answer the questions that were asked of us last week. And we took a step towards that today, but I suspect it's going to take us, the entire 2013 season to answer that question.
Was it therefore the more important quarter was that third quarter period when they kicked the first couple? You've obviously, you've had a dominant first quarter, but you've had a lot of dominant first quarters. When they came at you in that third quarter, that you were able to find that resolve that was perhaps missing if you like.
Yeah, no doubt. And when St Kilda, when they get their good players going, I mean, Montaña's still, I think he's in career best form. Riewoldt is clearly the best forward in the competition right at the moment, clearly. And so when you've got Montaña, Del Santo, Armitage, Stephen, McAvoy in the ruck, and forwards like Riewoldt and Milne, I mean, they're quality players. I mean, they're elite players in the competition. So we knew they were going to come. It was always going to be how we responded. And today, we responded well.
Did you seem to try and control the ball or the pace of the game a little bit more at times and slow it up a bit? Is that fair assessment?
Yep. But I think we're really working on trying to respond to the game situation, of which we failed that examination dismally last week. And so, there's no doubt we're trying to work on different styles of play at different stages of the game, depending on what the opposition are doing. Because what we've learnt this year and the round, I think it was 2 game against Geelong earlier this year, when we were playing really good footy, 40 points up, Geelong changed and we weren't able to respond quick enough. So it's very difficult within quarters to get that done from the coach's box. You need your players to be able to respond, and to do that you need to coach it really strongly throughout the week, and I thought our boys responded pretty well.
Did you encourage the players to go with the emotion of the Boomer milestone, or did you try to sort of stick to business?
No, we definitely tapped into that, but it's not unusual because our club values milestone games really highly, and I've been at other clubs previously and they're important, but there's something about North Melbourne milestones that are really special, and Brent Harvey and Daniel Wells, they'll go down as legends of our football club, and it was really important that we put in a good performance for them, but likewise that they led from the front. And I thought they both did that really well today, and they're going to go down as true champions of our football club. So it was an important game from that perspective.
Pretty handy 350s for them.
Yeah. He compared him to Dustin Fletcher for the obvious reasons. It's just, I'm sure they'll do studies on those two blokes when they retire and just find out what it is that makes them so different. But Now, Boomer's longevity obviously speaks for itself. His resilience, never misses training, never wants to miss training. When the few times he's been injured, he recovers quicker than anyone else. He's obviously genetically blessed, but that's not to undersell the work he does. And I said to the players just then, if every single North Melbourne player from this day on prepared to play AFL footy like Boomer does, we'd be an unstoppable football team. He's just, he's one out of the box, but he's an unbelievable example for our young players.
The forward line, you had, I suppose, probably the first time in a while, just the two tools of Aaron and Boo Patrick. It seemed to function really well.
Yeah, it did, but it's not. I think it's horses for courses in terms of the opposition you play and the conditions you play in, and it was really pleasing that we could change the structure up and it still be effective. I think we scored pretty well from our entries, so you know that suggests that the guys again are coachable and they can adapt to different systems and setups. But you know we're really keen to get Robbie Tarrant back and available. We hope he'll be available. You know, if not next week, then hopefully after the bye. Majak, we know, is just going to get better and better and better. But we've been really pleased that Majak's shown that he can play at the level and he's got the capability. What he needs to work on is his consistency and his four-quarter performance. And you know, when it all comes together for him, he's going to be a pretty special player. So we're pretty lucky, and credit goes to Bryce Lewis and our guys that we've got a bit of a production line of key position players. Potentially. I mean, I've said for the last 4 years that I see Lockie, Robbie Tarrant as key position players, and you need flexibility. And you know, you look at modern footy now, we're seeing a lot of defenders go forward. Reece Stanley was a bit of a thorn in our side today going forward and scoring. And St Kilda have been grooming him as a key defender. So flexibility is really important and something we value. But yeah, look, to be honest, Nick, we've had to develop our forward line, but we've known Aaron Black's going to be a good player for a long time. But we've needed to get him physically conditioned and strong enough to withstand the rigours of AFL footy. But I think he's showing glimpses now of what he's capable of and the player he's going to be in the future.
I think Goldstein and the way the rucks panned out, it was surprising McAvoy started forward, and then they were also using the third man up a lot in the first term.
Yeah. Yeah, his greatest strength is his resilience, Goldie. Because they peppered him early. You know, it was a good tactic. They came after him, and you know, we like Tom Hickey as a player. You know, but McAvoy's an elite level ruckman, so there was always the concern that they were going to double team Goldie. But when the opposition do that to him, he seems to find another leg. So he likes shouldering the load by himself, and even when the opposition come at him, he tends to respond, and he did again today.
Just by shouldering the load himself, does he really get tired at some stage? Does he ever need some help? Because I mean, there seems to be every team has two ruckmen almost.
Yeah, well, I mean, Majak's played the last 5, so I mean, Madge has given him a fair chop out for the last 5 weeks. But you know, Drew did a bit today. Aaron Black can do a bit. You know, we've got Dan Curry has had a broken thumb, but you know, it was a shame he broke his thumb when he did, because it was probably line ball between Dan and Majak who came in that week. Madge came in and took his opportunity, but we're confident Dan Curry will get his too. So we've got flexibility. We just have to, a bit like the key forwards, we just have to pick the side each week that we think is going to get the job done.